All right, welcome back to Blue City Reviews. We've been working our way through the Howling series backwards. So a few nights ago we started with 6. The night after that we did 5. Then the original Nightmare, which is 4, which was a tricky one to get through. And last night I did the Philippe Mora era of the franchise, which was 2 and 3, except I did them 3, then 2. Working our way back to what most think is the best one, although watching this again last night, I'd be surprised if when I watch the original, and I love Joe Dante, I'd be surprised if when I watch that tonight I like it more than this. This is a really powerful movie. It really is. The core premise for this movie is the thylacine, which was, hope I'm pronouncing that right, which is an extinct Australian tiger that had sort of attributes of a Tasmanian devil and a kangaroo. It had a pouch where it kept its babies, but was also quite deadly. So while the characters in this do change into what we could consider werewolves, they really look like thylacines in the design. And that is very cool, and it adds a whole nother layer of, I would say subtext, except it's not subtext. They bring it right into your face as the movie goes on, which is what we are doing to nature and what we do to creatures that we don't want around. You know, farmers drove the thylacine to extinction to protect their sheep, which is the whole premise of this movie. You know, us driving these werewolves to extinction to protect our sheep, our civilization, our worker bees. Very interesting stuff. In fact, at one point, very meta, the two scientists who are hunting these things, so to speak, turn to the camera and go, do you really believe in werewolves? Why are you watching this movie, essentially? This is very meta. This is Jason Goes to Lives. This is Scream. This is Wes Craven's new Nightmare. This is asking you why you like werewolf movies, and if so, why are you scared of werewolves? People are way more fucking dangerous. Way more. So that is the spine of the movie. And as I said, it's very meta. In fact, and I'm sure this is what pisses a lot of fans off, they parody the most famous scene from the first movie, almost like within the first half hour of this. Even people who love the original Howling sit there through that excellent transformation sequence with groundbreaking effects, and the bladders and all this stuff they did, and wonder why the hell doesn't Dee Wallace run away? It's like 5 minutes of this guy changing. Makes no sense. They parody the hell out of that, and it's hilarious. The plot, well, there's 2 sections of the plot. One I mentioned, which is this sort of science-led militaristic group trying to hunt these things down and research them, right? For profit, for war, whatever. And then there's another story, which is very much a story of a persecuted young damsel in distress who flees her awful village to run to a faraway kingdom, the city, and gets swept off her feet by a prince, in this case, a guy who works on a film set, to live happily ever after, and their battles that come with that. It just so happens that she's a werewolf, or a kangaroo werewolf, or a thylacine, or these aren't really werewolves. That said, the special effects look great. The character in this, again, spoilers, she becomes pregnant with this guy's baby, I guess you could say. Cute little kangaroo thing that comes crawling out of her into her pouch. But this birth scene, man, Philippe Mora, he's so Cronenberg-esque. This is like if Cronenberg was to direct a Howling movie. This is PG-13, but it's so sticky. And, I mean, I watched this. This is supervised. It's a DVD, but the transfer is supervised by Mora. So I imagine there's a Blu-ray that looks better, but this looks fantastic. And the sticky and the hair, and it looks, great. It looks like a birth sequence. It looks like she's legitimately giving birth to this little werewolf, thylacine kangaroo thing. It's beautiful. I love it. And there's lots of weird, disturbing scenes like that in there. You get a transformation scene during a ballerina sequence. Ballerina spin around, around, around. Every time she comes around, she looks more like a wolf. Fucking awesome. There's so much cool stuff in this. This is a really good film, and the only fault it has is that it has so many ideas. It has so many things it's trying to do. It has like 5 or 6 false endings. I mean, I read a review for Point Break, great action film once, that said the only fault is this movie has too many false endings. This movie has a bunch of them, and it's all the better for it. Do you really want to return to society if you have paradise and nature just for, all the glamour that goes along with living in a city? This movie takes it way out there, man. Like full circle, and asks a bunch of questions and brings it back around in a way that ties into Dante's original. In fact, you could call this a trilogy, like the first 3 a trilogy. I haven't revisited the first one yet. I watched the second one after this, obviously. But yeah, I would say these first 3 probably make up their own little mini trilogy, because the ending of this really ties it up neat. And this is the first film I've seen in the series. I mean, I started with 6. I have a fan and a friend who wants me to watch 7, which I probably will because it was a request. But this is the first film I've seen of the series, working my way backwards. And I have thoughts about 2, which I watched immediately after this and which I'm about to review. But Howling 3, I'd be very surprised if the first tops this for me. And I love Joe Dante. I want to get back and watch it. But this is my kind of movie. This has something to say about animals, about nature, about humankind. And it's just a really overall disturbing, compelling movie with Cronenberg touches. All right. Thank you for watching Blue City Reviews. You probably won't agree with that, but I love The Howling 3, The Marsupials.